Good evening. Hope everyone is well. Another week done. Knocking on the door of the weekend now. And just thought I'd do some more daily race A. Had a lot of fun last night. Some crazy races. A lot of unintended racing from the back challenges. So, do some daily race A. Maybe try some qualifying for the FIA races tomorrow. Just bear with me sorting out the stream. Hope everyone is well. It's good to be chatting with some people this week who I've been racing with. It's always nice. Just going to pop on the headset now. Just try and do one lap just to warm up before we start. I think the SR is back up to A or S now. So back up to S. We went all the way down to B. And in fact, to be honest, we went pretty close to getting a reset yesterday. Not something I was intending to do, but it's always a risk. Did have some league racing earlier on this evening, which was a lot of fun. Interlagos. Now, I would really like to nail this middle part of the track today. That would be some good progress. I feel a bit more confident with the car, which is good. Let's see who we've got. Okay, so we're in a kind of weird lobby again, as we still work our way up to 99 SR. Not any names I recognise. But can use a warm up here just to get ready, get warmed up. Someone's saying fair ranks then. I guess daily race A at this time of a Friday night is a bit of a niche market. Anyway, if you've been watching the streams this week, you'll have seen that anything can happen at turn 1. Quite a few times I've been last coming out turn 1. Yeah, it's all kicking off back there, as per usual. Let's try and get some consistent lap times in the 104s. Not going to be like that. Made a mess of that corner every time so far. Driving this guy back into contention. Oh, that's nice, that line. Just a bit too deep there. That was a really nice line in the middle. guy is driving very well. Good race. Another clean race, so doing what it needs to do to the SR. Yeah, back up to 91 SR, so should be back in a lobby that's kind of a bit closer. It's good racing with the Spaniard though. So tomorrow, nations, San Croix, and manufacturers, and they're available in 24 hours, but I'm in the Volkswagen, doesn't seem to be great anywhere. So what times are people doing for this? 3-second spread. It's early days though, it's just practice. I have the car, which is good. Why don't we take it for a spin? Just do a couple of minutes. Just checking out the stream. There we go. Always a good idea to load a ghost if you've never done a track before. I've never done this configuration of San Quan before. It should be a fun combo. Yeah, this is going to be fun because it seems there's a decent amount of grip, but I didn't brake as much as I was expecting. Braking too late, too early. Ooh. It's going to take a little while to learn this track. Looks quite fiddly. Okay, this bit I recognise. Oh, this bit, okay, goes onto the bridge. Plenty of people are going to be hitting that wall on the outside, probably. But then we're going to go right here. Left even. Oops. Can't read the map. That exit is going to be really important because this straight is even longer than it is normally, so it's going to be a great overtaking opportunity. Even gaining on the ghost somehow, I don't know how that's working. This bit I've never seen before. It's quite nice how the track kind of opens up here. And imagine that corner is going to be about not cutting. So that's going to be an interesting one. I think it's going to take a while to learn that. There's lots of corners and it's quite fiddly. But it should be quite good fun, that track, tomorrow. So I think I might well give that a go. Not that many slots, so maybe just the last two. We'll see. Let's jump back into Daily Race A. Should be having some much closer racing now. Sticking with the blue car. try and do a half decent lap. That's really interesting. Oh, just Market Boy wasn't coming up. Been using his ghost. But let's just try and get familiar. Ooh. Don't want to be doing that. Let's practice this start. So okay, so I can brake a lot later than I was before. Pretty much near the end of the barrier. So obviously try and drift it around here. Yeah, I won't be trying that. Okay, let's see what we've got. Okay, getting more like it. Getting more like it. Should be some close racing at the top. Getting a bit more comfortable taking that second part flat. So starting P3. Can't remember which side of the grid that is. On the left, so I have to drift across to the right. Oh, if I got a tap there, that would have been game over. This guy behind me is all over me. Gonna get pushed out here. Oh, braking too late. Just broke a little bit too late to park it on the apex there. Tapped in there. Just let him past. Polish guy's off. Dropping down the order a little bit here. Standard here is a lot higher, obviously. So I got to do something a bit special to get past. That could have been an absolute disaster. As it happens, not too bad. That Greek guy has done a really fast lap. I mean, that's faster than the qualifying time. Okay, so still a little bit rusty, I think. Might put in a bit of practice now just to get back in the groove. But good to be back racing, having some good close battles. Another clean race on a new consecutive clean race record. That's a new me. That is the new me. Let's have a look at the times here. Yeah, that Greek guy, that's a rapid time in the race. A 1:03 in the race. I was hoping to get a 1:03 in qualifying and couldn't quite get it. I only got a 1:04.0. Maybe we'll have another try to get that 1:03 lap time now. Got a couple of minutes. Do let me know if you've been doing Daily Race A yourself this week. Let's have a look at the races that are up for next week now. Ah, they're up. So what are they? So Daily Race A Autopolis Shorts. Might be fun. Daily Race B Fuji Shorts. Not really a fan of Fuji. And Race C Catalunya Grand Prix Group 3. I think that will be my race next week. Catalunya Group 3. Hopefully there's a mix of cars. Let me just check the details for that. So have to use the hard tyre. Fuel 2 tyre wear 6. Fuel rate 2. There might actually not be too much strategy there for race C. I don't know about you guys, but I prefer it when there's strategy, different choices. Just mixing it up. He says he goes into Daily Race A. So we'll use TR Adams Ghost, and we've got time for about 6 laps. So he takes a lot of that curve there, and will definitely be flat through here. Oh dear. It's very marginal there. The kind of like how much steering you apply to both not spin out and also not hit the grass. More laps we've got time for. Just on the power a bit too early. This is going to be a half decent lap time. That was a bit tidier. That could have been a sub 104. So I'm definitely better. Let's see, we've got E&B 55 evening. Yeah, A is an SR killer, so I went down to 57 SR yesterday in just one race. So I didn't realise until I looked at my SR, I was like, shit. Really close to a reset, but managed to just build it up now. Yeah, Autopolis short, so I have bad memories of Autopolis because that's the last time I had an SR reset, was Autopolis in, I think either it was short or it was the full version, I can't remember, but I do like the track, so yeah, interesting to see what car they pick. I've really enjoyed the Porsche this week. And hi Jedi Jonah 84, just doing a bit of Daily Race A and chat this evening. I've really been enjoying the combo. Glad to hear you got back to an S. I was down to a B yesterday, and it's a bit kind of, you're kind of in the hands of the gods, especially in something like Daily Race A. There are a few times when I was kind of battling myself to not overtake someone because the risk of just getting a slight tap and that's it, game over. But I think I'm going to do the FIA Nations tomorrow in the Formula 1 car. It's a new. I think it'll be a new track to a lot of people. It's a brand new track to me. It's an unusual car, so that should kind of even things out a bit. Yeah, always good to have a bit of time out, Jelly Jonah. Especially if the combos aren't something you enjoy. But sometimes I look at the combos and I'm like, no, not for me this week. Next week, Catalonia Race C. I think it should be good fun. I hope there's a mix of kind of cars that will work there. Yeah, I've been thinking about setting up an alt account and doing some races on the back. I think it'd be a lot of fun. I'm not sure how I feel about kind of potentially messing up people's races by coming from the back, but I think it'd be fun to do. So we had a good battle with the Spaniard a couple of races ago, very close. So if you haven't seen these races before, basically turn 1 is just carnage. It's a complete lottery. I think I've ended up coming last out of turn 1 more times than I've come out first. But we'll see. We will see. I'm racing in VR this evening, so getting the VR headset on and off. Do recommend trying out VR if you haven't tried it before. I think the headsets are a bit cheaper now. But okay, let's see what's what. Anything can happen. It will be more fun if something crazy happens in turn 1. So if I remember, I should be on the right hand side of the grid, which is where you want to be, I think. Just messing around with the headset. Looks like we lost the person behind? Or was that just a gap in the grid? Very neat and tidy. And we're all through. That was almost a moment. That was a moment. Oh, R.I.P. Ooh. So the Spaniard behind is quite racy. We've had a good battle earlier on this evening. going to have to go defensive here. Now I really hope they go side by side because it's not really the corner to go side by side. It's all happening on the radar. It's all happening on the radar. Getting a nice little tap there. So much appreciated. Really good close racing so far. This guy behind me is he's all over me. He did well to get on my inside there, actually. Just overcooked it. Let's try and put this guy under some pressure. Disaster. Absolute disaster. So I just tried to hold it flat and got a wheel on the grass. And I didn't need to. Let's try and rescue something. Going to get a penalty there. This is on. This is on. Side by side. A little bit rough. Evening, Lewis Davis. Yeah, that. Oh. So I was in second place, and as soon as I said, right, I want to put the leader under pressure, obviously I binned it. It's that middle part of the track which I struggle with because I think my entry into the left-hander is too narrow. And so to get around the corner, either I'm putting on too much steering lock and then oversteering, and this car oversteers very easily, or I'm trying to avoid oversteer and turn as little as possible, and then I end up putting a wheel on the grass, and it's a catastrophe. I was hoping to do a 360 no scope spin back on the racing line, but it didn't happen. Wasn't really fast paced in that race. Only one, well, no one going into the 103s, so we were all battling. Oh, okay. Yeah, it was a great race. That middle part of the track is difficult. Well, I'm going to try and hunt that 1:03 qualifying time. It's definitely on. We'll do a few more daily race days. They've been quite good fun. Don't know if anyone's looking forward to the F1 this weekend. It's been such a long time. It's weird, and in the interim, I've been watching a lot of sim racing, and to see the real thing now is, yeah, it's a bit weird. I just hope it's a good race, because I'm a big F1 fan, but sometimes the races can be really boring if it's a parade. So we'll see. F1 is back. I'm not sure what I should be doing with the brake balance there. I should definitely be using a ghost. Just sorting out the headset. You can see Tiara Adam is riding the brakes a long way through that corner. So this is the corner where often I end up running wide because I don't want to turn in too much, as stupid as it sounds. That's very messy. Not bad, I'll take that. Just losing so much time in this middle bit. The deep line around that hairpin doesn't really gain you anything, I've realised. just got to be tight. That's quite a nice line through there. Deep line through here isn't too bad. Just on the power time a bit too late there. That's a nice line. Oh, that would have been very good, but it wasn't. Time do we have? Just eluding me, that 103. Yeah, Pink Merc, Racing Point. I'm not actually up to speed with what's going on in terms of who's looking racy. I did see some videos of the Mercedes like toe and camber adjustment thing, which is pretty cool. Just reminds me of flying a plane. Quite similar how you have that kind of additional direction. But we'll see, a lot of the F1 drivers have been doing sim racing in their spare time. Some of them haven't. Don't think Vettel's done much. Don't think Hamilton's done much. So it'll be interesting to see how they come into it mentally. I mean, these guys are all pros, but you know, I think everyone who's watching this video probably will be doing sim racing themselves. It's very different in terms of the chaos and the contact in sim racing. So we'll see what turn one's like in Austria. Yeah, Red Bull have already appealed it. It's interesting timing because I guess the system was disclosed during testing, so everyone's known about it for ages, and it might just be that Red Bull want to throw a spanner in the works late in the day. With all the credits and stuff about how they can develop the cars, they might not have been able to copy it. Perez, so Mercedes engine must be looking pretty racy. I saw that Ferrari weren't particularly happy. This is the thing about F1 is, yeah, there's only so many engines nowadays, but every car is different. Every team's running a different car. It's not a spec series. So actually there is no guarantee that the racing is going to be close. And we shouldn't really expect it to be close. Whereas in sim racing, often the racing is really close. And if you're using a spec series in sim racing, it is completely spec. Yeah, well, if Lance Stroll's up there, it must be a pretty good engine. I mean, he's obviously a world-class driver, but yeah, I don't think I'll be watching it live tomorrow. I don't have Sky, but I think the highlights will be on in the UK. Some other channel. Just reading the news now while we wait. Hamilton looks like he was looking pretty good. You never really know in Formula 1. I do go and see Formula 1 quite a lot around the globe and go down to watch free practice. And you never really know if they're sandbagging. They're testing various bits. Sometimes they'll do race simulation kind of portions, but it's not about, I think, showing their true pace. Seem to remember there was a very good race Austria maybe last year. Verstappen coming through the pack. Yep, Channel 4. DC and the gang. I don't know how people feel if people are from the UK watching this about F1 on TV. Because I remember growing up watching it on ITV and then BBC. And it was just always there on a Sunday and a Saturday. And I spent a lot of time with my dad just watching F1 races. And I don't know what it's like for people, you know, kids growing up now who don't have Sky, if they're just not interested in F1. I saw in Germany it's also gone off free-to-air TV. And, you know, whilst that might bring in more revenue short term, I don't know what it means for the sport. Very serious chat. It's about time we lightened it up and got into some Daily Race A madness. So we've got the Spanish driver again for company. See what happens. Hope you're enjoying the stream. Hope you're enjoying these races. Please feel free to subscribe to the channel if you want to see more videos and streams. Got a video coming out this weekend on actually how to make videos. Quite circular. Just showing you very quickly what I do. Shit, should probably try and drive the car. How I make GT Sport videos and how you don't really need much equipment or skill. So hopefully you'll enjoy that. In terms of the next big race, got the Motorsport UK F3 Championship on Monday evening. And there's been a change to that championship. I don't know if anyone's seen the video I did on it. The first race was just unbelievable. And the second race was better. I came second in the second race out of about 30, so that felt pretty good. That's probably one of the best sim races I've ever done. But again, there was a lot of carnage. So they've changed the rules, so there's going to be full damage on, and that's going to change it dramatically. It's definitely going to change how I drive. I'm going to be so cautious off the start just to avoid everyone, because at least 15 cars are going to get mashed up. Oh shit. Yep, good to have F1 back. Was meant to go to Monaco this year. Been to watch the Monaco Grand Prix 3 times before. It's actually one of the cheapest Grand Prix you can go and see. Just stay in France. Wake up at 4 o'clock, take the train in, sit on the hill. Go to the supermarket on the way in, and you get a great view on the hill. I've done the grandstand as well, but to be honest, I quite like the hill. Another good Grand Prix to go to, Hungary. Silverstone, actually. Silverstone's a bit of a weird one. I don't obviously, being in the UK, it's my home Grand Prix, so to me it kind of lacks a bit of the glamour of going to a foreign one. But I went last year to Silverstone, and I've been before, and it's all a bit scaffoldy, is the word I'll use to describe it. And Silverstone is actually not that cheap. And there's horrendous traffic. Obviously going to be no fans at the race this weekend. It's going to be interesting. I think it is good for F1 to be out there racing because F1 is meant to be the pinnacle of motorsport, but more than that, it's a pinnacle of motorsport engineering. And these guys and girls are meant to be able to solve complex problems, analyse a lot of data, etc. So, you know, in terms of the coronavirus situation, I think they should be out there setting an example, which they're doing. I just don't really have the... Oh, I was going to say I don't have the pace to beat this guy. Mr. Mullet. But he hasn't driven that well on that lap. Ooh, it's going to be wide. Just about. It was deep here last time. It's not deep this time. Coming under pressure from this Italian. Oh no. I'm going to have to save it with a bit of a dive here. That was harsh. That was a bit harsh. I mean, I kind of had to claim the apex. And I could say he was turning in, but... Ooh, he's gone for it. Quite a cushion to third. So that ending was a bit interesting. So the penultimate corner, I think I was entitled to go for that apex, and he turned in, so, you know, kind of 50-50. That last corner, he's entitled to go for the inside there, and to be honest, I should have been able to switch back quite comfortably, so that was just poor by me. Just catching up in the comments. Kids like it, but don't have Sky Sports either. Yeah, I know. And if you're watching it in other ways, it's, you know, the quality is not great, etc. I just, yeah, I don't know. I think my kind of my love and desire for motorsport and me getting back into karting and doing all the sim racing, I don't think it would exist if I hadn't watched a shitload of F1 when I was younger, just because it was on TV and there wasn't really anything else on TV at 1 o'clock on a Sunday. So yeah, I don't know how I feel about that. Thanks for the subscription. doing more live streams now. Got the setup kind of working. If you can hear a kind of whining sound in the background, it's actually my PlayStation, which is ridiculously noisy. I need to put it in some kind of box. But yeah, that was an interesting race. I think we'll go for another one. Not going to do a quali time because but yeah, I don't know if anyone is looking forward to FIA tomorrow. Let's check what's going on with Nations. So I've been doing a few rounds, just slotting in under Super GT. But Super GT has got a load more points than me in much fewer races. Anyway, can jump up there into third place. Let's have a look at the UK rankings. And a lowly 152. I am in 200 point lobbies most of the time, or about that. So these points are pretty poor, to be honest. I have been doing a lot of no qualifying, no practice FIA, just because I normally enjoy the combo, but I don't have the time to do any practice. But I will definitely do some practice tomorrow for the Formula 1 type car at Saint Croix C. And I think that'll be an interesting race because it's not a track I've ever done before. I don't think it comes up a lot in rotation. So that will be interesting. Got a lowly 50 points in one race. That must have been a last place. And then I did the Laguna Seca race this week on Tuesday and forgot I had to use a medium tyre. So I had to make an extra pit stop. I was on for some pretty decent points there, so that was a bit of a shame. But you can see these guys are in top split races, 289. Super GT picking up over 300 points in a race, so that's a pretty stacked lobby. And these guys are just absolutely unreal. Absolutely unreal, these guys. Something I've noticed about these people being able to set really fast lap times is they're able to go flat over curbs and over bumps and stuff like that, whereas I instinctively lift because I'm worried about spinning the car out. I think they're so consistent in their line, they know if there's a flat line through, they will just hit that line time after time. And that's the difference, for example, between me and these top guys, is that my line is not that consistent. See who my rivals are. Apex Aperture, name I recognise. Devon Butler, a name I recognise. Weedown, I recognise. Aries. I think that might be the Aries. Mumble Leader, recognise him. So yeah, Nation's interesting. I saw the new rounds came out. Let's have a look at that. Blue Moon Bay, that should have been a good combo for me, but I had a disaster on each race. Monza, probably my favourite track in the world. Karts was always going to be a decent one. They say we never use the full width available, too cautious. Do you mean in terms of top drivers use the full width? Because I think that is right. On entry, top drivers really aren't afraid to be all over the curb on entry. to carry as much speed through the corner, whereas I don't like being on the curbs because the risk of spinning out to me is too high. So again, that's something that kind of separates the top drivers. And it means they go through corners using less steering lock as well, so it's just a more consistent way through. Where are we? Rolling into July, can't believe it. Rolling into July. Corvette, Laguna Seca coming up again. Might have a go at that. Autopolis, nice fun track. Track width, yeah, top drivers, yeah, they do, yeah. Something that surprised me is one time I went to Catalonia to watch the MotoGP, and watching the MotoGP riders on their bikes being all over the curb on entry and exit, when these are proper curbs, just to get the best line through the corner. Having something pointing in my face. Yeah, the consistency is unbelievable, and I think that's the difference, really. And that's something I've noticed in the races I've done, the Club 100 team versus team races, doing the Motorsport UK races, so races at a really high standard. It's not about trying to do really quick laps anymore. It's just about being consistent. And if you make one mistake, that's it. And you can see the Club 100 GT Sport race I do on the Double Dash Motorsport Media channel, where they're all broadcast with commentary. And you can see just how close it is. And if you make one mistake, half a mistake, you drop out the slipstream and that's race over. So it's just a given everyone's really fast. But I had a question yesterday on the stream about someone who was looking to go faster and how to get off traction control. Not how to get off traction control, but they were on traction control and they were asking to go faster. And we were speaking about the pedals. The pedals are so important. The pedals are more important than the wheel in terms of sim racing, in my experience. And I think a lot of drivers are too aggressive off the brakes and on and off the throttle. And then especially a road car like this Porsche, if you're aggressive off the brakes, it just unsettles the car. It's actually not a super high performance race car. It's a road car really. And it's the same with the throttle. If you have a look at my throttle inputs here, and I'm obviously not the fastest driver at this track, but you can see just how progressive I am with the throttle and kind of very gently going to full throttle. And that's a bit counterintuitive because, or at least it was for me at the beginning, because I thought, oh, I have to get on the throttle, max throttle as quickly as possible. But actually it's about modulating the throttle, and slow is fast, as stupid as that sounds. Right, let's jump in, get familiarised before we have another race, maybe against our Spanish friend who's got the better of me in every race this evening. So fair play to him. If anyone's got any ideas for the brake balance, let me know, because I'm just on 0. On the one hand, I want the car to turn in. On the other hand, the oversteer on exit is a genuine worry. I think I can carry more speed to that first part. Judy Jonah 84, I've only recently moved to wheel and pedals tougher than I thought. Yeah, I don't know what wheel you've got. The initial kind of, not like learning curve, but just getting used to it is really difficult. I was a lot slower on a wheel when I first switched over. I have a T150, so it's pretty entry level. But I was struggling until I just got used to it. There are some times I think a controller will be quicker because you can reach full lock quick on a controller because it's quicker to move the thumbstick rather than having to rotate the wheel all the way around. And I think depending on the game, some games can help you a bit with the controller. I think GT's really good on a controller. iRacing doesn't really work on a controller. Yeah, T80, that was my first wheel. Fond memories of my T80. No force feedback, just a kind of like elastic band. And actually, so I went from a controller to a T80 and then to my T150. And when I went from my T80 to the T150, I was a lot slower on T150 because the force feedback is weird, or understanding it at the beginning is a bit weird. Whereas on the T80, you can be very precise with your steering. So I think there'll be certain cars where the T80 is actually a great wheel, but for this combination, the T150, I think you need to have force feedback if you're using a wheel in this car. Tisney running -3 BB. Let's do it. If it's good enough for Mr. Grady, I will give it a shot. So we're going to go to -3 BB. Top 3, pretty close on quali. We know the Spaniard has just been better than me all evening. See if I can get one over on the Spaniard. Mr. Millet. The Spaniard got punted off there. Ooh. Okay, we're on the -3 brake balance. It's going to be famous last words, but it feels a bit more stable. That felt quite nice. Yeah, might be feeling a little bit more stable. Ooh, got getting very close there. Mess that up a little bit. Gonna have the inside line here though. Saved it. Oh no, got an SR down. I mean, that was kind of play stupid games, win stupid prizes. I had the inside line there. He could have just waited and done me at the inside of the next corner. I'm never going to beat this guy, am I, the Spaniard? But I went a little bit too deep into the first corner. So I only got myself to blame, really. He's going to have a decent run on me here because I've got a terrible line. Now for this corner, in any car, the one coming up, I just hate being on the outside because people can just run you wide. So I'd much rather hang it on the inside. Ideally get a better exit than that. Again, keep on the outside. See, fair play to him there because I broke a bit early and he didn't just pump me off. We both lived to fight another day. Good close racing. Side by side. So I think this is the reverse position we were in the last race. So I could go for the dive bomb here. I just hope he makes a mistake instead. Not quite. Not quite. I'm never going to beat the Spanish guy. Just deploying his Italian buddy. Don't know if we'll do another one. Might call it a day there, I'll call it a night. It's getting late in the UK. Yeah, it's good racing. I think we're all... The car is really hard enough to drive on its own. It will just bite your head off at any opportunity. But I think all three of us there, we're at the stage where we can pretty much control the car. Although that sounds obvious. So it means the racing is really, really tense. And to be fair to the Italian, he could have punted me off quite a few times. Although he did, now I remember, he did bash me off coming out of turn 1. But I think I'm going to call it a day there and pick up again tomorrow. I'll be doing the FIA Nations in the Formula 1 car. The F1 5000, 1500, whatever. I thought it was a pickup truck originally. And I'll be streaming that. So you got that to look forward to if you want to watch it or not. There's real racing on. Otherwise, have a very good night. Please do subscribe if you want to see more videos. I think we're really close to 300 subscribers now, which is crazy. But other than that, I will see you next time. Have a great night. Have a great weekend. See you.